Speak to Paul Bristow now, Peterborough's Conservative MP. Paul, good morning. Firstly, your reaction to the news about Boris Johnson.
Well, on a personal level, it's deeply distressing. Obviously, I've met the Prime Minister on a number of occasions. He's an inspirational figure. He's a good man, someone who I got on personally very well with, and my thoughts and my prayers are with him and his family and his loved ones.
I think the whole county is in shock. And last night you look at social media and you see the things that people are saying, and it's people from across all political divides, all having the same viewpoint, which is nothing but wishing Boris Johnson a speedy return to full health.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely right. I mean, I was very pleased to see Jonathan Ashworth, the Shadow Health Secretary, to say exactly those things. You know, he is our Prime Minister. We need him. The country needs him. But most of all, his family needs him. His partner needs him. Carrie, his fiancée, needs him. And his unborn child needs him. So at the end of the day, he's a human being. But, you know, Boris is also a fighter. He's a character. And, you know, I hope and pray that he gets through this and continues to lead our country with the same energy and the same positivity that he's done in the past. I'm optimistic that he'll get through this, but this is a worrying time, there's no doubt about it.
Paul, do you think the Prime Minister has been working too hard to try and shield all of us from this virus, and you know, all of a sudden the actual virus he's shielding us from has left him stricken?
Well, it shows that this virus, it doesn't matter who you are or what position you have, it's the great equaliser. It affects all of us. It's that invisible threat to all of us. And so the Prime Minister's words at the past, you know, stay home, protect the NHS, save lives, are even more powerful and poignant. So hopefully the fact that it has affected our Prime Minister in this way is yet further reminder that everyone should be staying at home, protecting the NHS and saving lives.
Dominic Raab will have been briefed to continue his work, of course, until Boris can return, and that's presuming and, of course, hoping that he does make a full recovery. What can you tell us about Dominic Raab stepping in to take up some of the responsibilities?
Well, Dominic Raab will be having the same excellent advice he's received, the Prime Minister received from medical advisors, scientific advisors, and he'll have the finest brains of government helping us through this difficult time. So that work will carry on, and I'm sure the government is being left in excellent hands. But at the same time, we want our Prime Minister back, and he's obviously under the best possible care he can be. I think it's St Thomas's Hospital he's at, and under excellent care of our NHS staff, and I'm sure our thoughts and prayers that he'll be back on the job as quickly as possible.
And world leaders paying their respects to Boris Johnson in terms of, you know, wishing him well and wishing him a speedy recovery. That there was Donald Trump, I guess, leading that, and that isn't a surprise, is it?
No, because Britain is one of the most important countries in the world, and again, it just shows you that this is the great equaliser. It doesn't matter who you are, what position you have. This dangerous airborne virus can affect all of us. That's why it's important to stay in. And then I'll say that again, you know, stay home, protect the NHS, save lives. This is a global crisis. So it's only natural that the global leaders want to offer their support to our Prime Minister.
Paul, there'll be a lot of people who remembered Boris Johnson when he was the London mayor. He was a larger-than-life character then. He was, you know, not afraid to speak his mind and in a way to kind of act the fool at times. That character, do you think? I mean, the question I suppose I'm trying to sort of push you for is: will his incredibly outlandish character, in some ways, help him now in his hour of need to try and get himself better?
Well, obviously, I'm not a medical professional, so I don't feel confident enough to talk specifically about his care. All I know that it's the best possible care. But what I will say is Boris is a fighter. He runs at something at 100%, everything he does, and I'm sure he'll take the fight against this dreadful disease at that same energy, that same 100%, and he'll devote himself completely to defeating this personally, and then when he comes back as Prime Minister, to defeat it as a country.
And finally, Paul, a word for yourself and your fellow MPs. How are you spending your days and weeks during this lockdown period?
Well, I've got a 4-month-old baby who's rolling around the mat in front of me as we speak at the moment, so it's great spending a lot more time, with her and my other 4-year-old daughter, but and obviously my wife. But it's I'm also spending quite a lot of time on the phone to businesses, to charities, to all sorts of different people who may be struggling at this difficult time. Yesterday I went to the food bank at Dogsthorpe Methodist Church to offer my support there. I've been organising takeaways and restaurants across Peterborough, supporting our rough sleepers who are now housed in a hotel to protect them from this COVID-19. So the work of an MP goes on, and again, I think it's trying to bring the whole city together, regardless of party politics, to defeat this very difficult disease.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for your time. That's Paul Bristow, Conservative MP for Peterborough, talking about Boris Johnson and, of course, wishing him a speedy recovery. We're going to speak to